Hi, I'm Attorney Ben Schwartz, and today I want to talk about what I think is potentially a sensitive subject. It's blaming the victim and having empathy for the victim. And I notice a trend. I handle personal injury cases, and, people are touchy about the idea of, making a personal injury claim and seeking compensation for injuries or death. It's really a touchy topic, and when I look at the comments on our Facebook page, sometimes I realize how emotionally upset people get about this subject. But I want to talk about a related subject. In my personal injury cases, oftentimes we see insurance companies and insurance defense attorneys using a tactic called blame the victim or blame the parents of the victim. And I want to point out to you, if you're watching this, you're a potential juror, you're a potential client, you're a potential defendant, I want to point out to you that this instinct to blame the victim or to blame the parents of a child victim plays right into the insurance company's hands when they try to deflect blame and avoid paying on a claim, on a personal injury claim or a wrongful death claim. There have been two stories in the news recently. One is the story out of the Cincinnati Zoo where they shot the gorilla named Harambee. A 4-year-old boy, I believe he was a 4-year-old boy, fell into the gorilla's enclosure, and the zoo officials were afraid that the boy was going to get attacked and mauled and potentially killed by this large male gorilla, and they shot and killed the gorilla. On social media, people are going nuts about killing the gorilla. How can the parents of the boy let the kid go into the gorilla enclosure? Let's blame them. Let's arrest them. Look on social media. Look on Twitter or Facebook and see what people are saying in response to news articles on this news story. Another recent article, or another recent event that was in the news is the boy at Disney who was in the water in a Disney lagoon, was attacked by an alligator, dragged out into the lagoon, and drowned. People are blaming the parents. How can you be so crazy and stupid to let your kid wade into the water in a lagoon in Florida? Well, how can Disney maintain a lagoon with a fake beach with chairs and all of the beach features to attract people from Nebraska who don't know any better, who haven't been in Florida before and don't know that maybe there's large 14-foot alligators in that lagoon? People, if you look at the comments section, look at the New York Times article and look in the comments. People want to blame the parents. It's some sort of instinct that I think that we have as human beings to want to lay blame on the parents. Think about it. When there's a shooting or some other bad thing happens, they look at the shooter and they say, well, what did his mother do wrong to turn him into such a vile and hideous criminal? It's some sort of instinct that we have to want to blame the victim or want to blame the parents. And I want to make a suggestion to you, number one, that it's completely unproductive. What those parents need is not a nation condemning them for letting their 2-year-old wade into a lagoon. What those parents need is not a nation condemning them for letting their kid fall into a gorilla enclosure that, by the way, ought to be locked tight. It ought to be sealed. There should be no way that a kid gets into a gorilla enclosure. But what those parents need is some sympathy, some empathy, and some understanding, because you can't control 4-year-olds. You can't control 2-year-olds. I have a 4-year-old son. I have an 8-year-old daughter. Kids are not controllable by nature. So instead of condemning people, let's have some empathy and understanding for their plight. And also, let's understand that when something bad happens, if you let your instinct take over to blame the victim, to blame the parents, your instinct will play right into the hands of the insurance company's favorite trick, in their bag of tricks. And that trick is to blame the victim or blame the parents of the victim in order to deflect responsibility for something that never should have happened. I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. I feel like I'm up on my high horse this morning, but this is how I really truly feel about things. And I'd rather tell you how I feel about things at the risk of inflaming your sensitivities or making somebody angry, but this is how I see it, and so I'm going to call it like I see it. Don't blame the victim. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have comments, please leave a comment for us. You can go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/SchwartzandSchwartz. Leave a comment there. You can email me. ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com is my email address. Thanks very much, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video.